Back to 10 News at 5. I'm Hillary Lake. Yesterday on 10 News at 5, we talked about the ways social media impacted the big news stories of 2011. Today, we want to take a look and discuss some of the big social media trends for 2012. From creating an online conversation during popular TV shows to sharing your favorite products and pictures on sites like Pinterest. And joining us now to talk more about some of those social media trends is Gavin Baker, and he is the Director of Digital Media at Moxley Carmichael. Thanks so much for being here, Gavin.
Pleasure to be here.
The first trend that we want to talk about is one that actually makes television watching a social activity. People may have seen the little hashtag with the name of the show, like Glee, at the bottom of the screen. Why is this picking up so much right now?
Sure. So we're seeing this rise in connected consumers watching TV because we're actually finding that most people are actually watching TV with a smartphone or a tablet in their hand. And so networks are taking advantage of that, and they're incorporating a hashtag so you can follow along on Twitter, or they're adding apps so you can download it and kind of connect with each other. So TV watching isn't just something you do by yourself anymore on the couch or with your family. It's now something you can do with people who love your show across the world.
So you can actually be talking with other fans.
You can engage about particularly shows that have drama to them. You can say, okay, what's going to happen? Your commercial break. What's happening next? Is this going to happen or is that going to happen? And you can have this banter in real time.
All right, well, that's pretty exciting. Another trend for 2012 is MoSoCom, and that's mobile plus social plus commerce, and it has to do with consumers looking for deals on their smartphones.
Right, and it's not just looking for deals. It's the fact that in today's world, we always ask for recommendations on what we buy, whether it's an appliance or it's clothes or it's even a house. We're always asking, what should we do? How should we do it from our friends? And so what we're finding is that we're connected consumers. Now that we walk down the aisle of any store, you can have access to your friends' recommendations, the world's recommendations, but you can now actually price check, right? So you can scan an item and say, okay, I can buy this cheaper online, or maybe it's more expensive and I should buy it here. And so together, all of a sudden, it's changing how we shop, because you no longer are just trying to find the best deal. You might think, well, wait a second, I know I can get an online coupon. Wait, someone else doesn't like this model, they like it better here. And there's all of a sudden there's this transparency in shopping.
Are there specific sites for this, or do you just go to the store site?
It's kind of a mixture. Okay. We're seeing some apps that are being built that kind of combine it, but I have a number of friends who will, when they're shopping, they might tweet something out, hey, I'm thinking about buying this, what do you think? Just looking for instant feedback, right? So within minutes and even seconds, you can have someone saying, you know what, I had that model, it didn't work out that well, or this is a better one. And in the same sense, you have apps that you can compare pricing. So it's a very, very exciting change.
All right, well, a third trend you're expecting is curation, and these are websites that allow people to collect things like Pinterest, and Instagram.
Right. So there's two different sites. So Pinterest is a site where people can really curate things they want to discover online. So it's a site you can look at photos of boards. Maybe it's about home decor or wedding or fashion, and I can discover. I can browse your interest or my interest or someone else's and kind of find new things. I can also create my own boards, and then you can find those things via me. Instagram is a photo sharing service, very much just like a Twitter, but almost thinking about it for photos only. And so all of a sudden, it allows people to easily take photos, share them with their friends, and really become their own kind of mini photojournalist at a basic level. You can follow what I'm doing, you can follow brands, and really do some really interesting things with the web in your hand.
I haven't gotten on the Instagram bandwagon yet, but I have looked at Pinterest, and it's a little bit overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming when you first log in, and it's all of a sudden there's just all these things you're not expecting to see. But the beauty of it is that you can quickly go through a category. So maybe you're buying a new home, and so you're going to shop by, you're going to browse by interior design, and all of a sudden you can see homes of whether it's your friends of yours, or it's the rich and famous, or it's famous designers. But a lot of times it's not just that you can see the picture, you can find that thing they're talking about. So maybe it's a chair that you really like. Well, you can actually click through and go find that chair online, not just think about it and think, oh, I wonder where I can find that.
All right, another thing that you say is going to be popular is focusing on how marketers are targeting social media users. Sure. Why is this going to be so important next year?
Yeah, it's going to be important because as social media has grown over the last few years, all of a sudden we've got over 800 million people on Facebook. We have over 300 million people on Twitter. And people are building communities there, but they're still saying, how do I market with this directly, right? So there are people out there who are saying, hey, I want to buy something, how do I buy it? And the same way there are people here locally and nationally that are known for being really knowledgeable about a specific target. So how do we target those those people. So if I'm trying to buy a new car, and if I'm a new car seller, right? So I'm Ford, and I want to target somebody online. I don't necessarily want to just target someone who likes cars. I want to target someone who likes cars, and other people know that they like cars and follow them.
So does that mean that people who are on Twitter and Facebook are possibly going to be targeted? They're going to get more spam, or?
I wouldn't consider it spam. I consider it the targeting isn't going to happen from that aspect. It's going to target from the aspect of being a subject matter expert, and so they want to basically say, hey, if I want to give a deal to somebody, why don't I give a deal to someone who actually is an influence in this area versus just someone who wants a deal?
Okay, and a final social media movement for 2012: simplicity sites and services that make it simple to do one thing well. What are some examples, and why are they going to be trends?
Sure. One of my favorite ones of this is something called Postcard on the Run, and it's an app for your phone, and what it allows you to do is basically send a postcard from anywhere, which doesn't sound that novel, except who sends postcards anymore, right? Everything we take is a digital photograph, and so what it allows you to do is you log in on your phone, you take a photo of something, or maybe you import it from a Facebook album, you type a quick note on the back, and then you actually change your fonts, do whatever you want. You sign it with your finger, you input your address, and then they mail it. So I never touch a physical postcard, but you might get one. And so there's this aspect of sites like that, which all of a sudden create, maybe I'm on a trip and there's a memory somewhere, and I want to take a photo and share it with friends. Well, I can easily do that, whereas before I'd have to email it to them. That doesn't have the same significance as a postcard in your actual mailbox. Another one is called PicPlum, and it basically allows you to everything's digital these days. So new parents, right? Everything's online. Well, not every grandparent is going to be on Facebook or even have a computer to get online, and so it allows parents to easily send batches of photos monthly, real photos to real people, and they're not digital, but they start digital.
All right. Well, lots of great info for social media users. Gavin Baker from Moxley Carmichael, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be right back with more.